When you heard about catalyzing, I think you might have seen my videos, isn't it? Some of the videos. And what does it come to your mind? What does it come to your mind? What is catalyzing? You need to be quick, otherwise, just raise your hands a bit louder. What is catalyzing? Yes, please. Go ahead. Yeah.
Catalyzing means to bring change slowly.
Brilliant. That's it. Brilliant. And it means a catalyzer is often used in the chemical reactions where when two chemicals are put together, they are not mixing or making sense. So there's a catalyzer is used to speed up that reactions so that they can bring change. Yeah, the catalyzing means. Leader. Who is a leader? I have seen when I was going with my friends, we had a small boat. Small boat means we had nearly 15, 20 of us. There was a small captain as well. And suddenly we lost our way. And then even the captain did not know how to, of course, he has this scheme of things. And nowadays all these monitors, including navigators and all these things are there. But still, he was not sure where we are going and how to get there. Suddenly, he was supposed to know where we need to go. He was the leader, isn't it? So suddenly, he called somebody who was cleaning the boat. He said, "Tell us, help us." So the cleaner became the leader because he knows it, where he goes, how to go there, how to get there. Yeah, the leader is one who knows where to go, how to get there, how to go by it. But here we are not talking about leaders. We are talking about catalyzing leader, the one who imagines changes, one who plans changes, one who strategically vision changes, one who plans in order to put it in place. Okay? And so let me go quickly. I don't have much time. So but the catalyzing leaders is not for the sake of catalyzing leaders. You are going to be CEO tomorrow. You are going to be a manager tomorrow. You are going to be a leader in some places tomorrow. Is that something coming? Okay. But then we think there are many stories out there, you know. But then we think Bible can also help us to imagine ourselves to be a better manager, a different CEO, a different leader. That's what we are trying to make a case. Okay? So here is Mahatma Gandhi from my country. I come from India. Basically, I was starting my life as a missionary in India. Then what happened? Suddenly people picked me up. I was producing some videos. Those days we are talking in 1996, 97. I was producing some videos, and then people picked me and sent me to do my PhD. And then I did my PhD in Edinburgh, went back to India to teach, and then I came to UK to train international folks. And then I left my academy, and then Bible Society picked me up. Why don't you train leaders? So I'm here. Here we go. That's my short story. So, but then I found some of my leaders talking about the Bible. He is not a Christian. Mahatma Gandhi never became Christian, never wanted to become Christian. And one of my tutor, he was with him, and he was my Sanskrit tutor. He was with Gandhi, and when he said, "I'm becoming Christian," he did ask him to leave the ashram. Ashram is the place where Gandhi lived. So he said, "You don't come here anymore because we don't want people to become Christian because in India they want to remain Hindus." But he said this. You Christians, can you follow me? Am I fast? Are you able to follow me? Is okay? Okay. You Christians look after a document containing enough dynamite to blow all civilization to pieces. I think you might have seen that in the video itself, isn't that? Did you see that? The video? So I think I don't want to go through again that one if you have seen the videos. So let me read that. Turn the world upside down and bring peace to a battle torn planet. But you treat it as though it's nothing more than a piece of literature. What does it mean? Any comments?
Just to paraphrase what he said, he's just saying the Bible is full of power, but then we don't even know, and we don't even know how to use it.
Right, right. You said you're a pastor, didn't you? Which church?
The Blood of Jesus Apostolic Church in Ibadan, Oyo State.
Right. Wonderful. So the Bible is full of power. That's a good interpretation. But also, it's Bible. He thinks is for everyone, not only for Christians. Yeah, because when it came to India, one of the, of course, I'll talk later about it. William Carey, the missionary, he said, if you come to my school, everyone has to sit in the same classroom. Yeah? Because there's no caste up, caste down here. Before that, Indians never imagined that they can sit together. There's an untouchability. There's a kind of people at the margins. Women cannot sit with men, but they have to sit together. So they sat together because they said every human being is created in the image of God. There's no compromise. That is where they drew the Bible, the wisdom from the Bible, and made it. And they are called now, William Carey is called the father of Bengali Renaissance, because Indians, more women are coming up as presidents, prime ministers, and because of that Renaissance, which you should remember that. So anyway, and now there are two people who are in the business. Stry, I think some of you may know Stry Masivia. No, he is a Zimbabwean and British UK-based businessman who put Christ at the heart of his business, and he became philanthropist. Isn't it? Am I correct? You know, my words also sometimes doesn't come. So he is a kind of person who, when you put that Christ at the center of the business, he see the world different, and he can see human beings suffering as part of his family. That's where the perspective changes. So anyway, Tom Shoes, he's having a shoe company, and he runs a major shoe company where he sells shoes, and every shoe he sells, he gives a gift to those who do not have affordability to buy a shoe as a gift. Yeah. So that's the idea. And John Cadbury, I lived in this place, and I was also one of the board members of the Cadbury family trustee groups a while ago. And is that something okay? And when they came and established business, they put at the heart of their business ethical labor and community well-being. That means fair wages, employee benefits, social responsibility of the corporate companies. They were the first one to introduce the responsibility of the corporate companies in society, a while ago. Yes? And many companies afterwards, they followed. And they even started pension schemes, shorter work weekends, and better labor laws. They introduced some of the better labor laws in UK. Then Alan Tyson Foods, when he established a food company, and he said, our workers need caring. Yeah, so he appointed 100 chaplains for their workers to go around and take care of them. It's quite interesting. When you put Bible at the heart of your business, at the heart of your management, the world which you look can be different. Isn't that? That's what we are here to tell you. And I think that's one thing I'd like to say. Okay. Now, why are we doing this? Why the Bible Society should get involved? And I think I cannot run for a long time. Yeah, I have to give you some questions and you have to discuss and come up with answers. Is that okay? We'll give you 15 minutes of that. And before that, let me also say this Catalyzing Leadership Training Program, month it runs. You have not seen my video? Yes? 6 months. Brilliant, brilliant. 6 months. And there are 9 face-to-face program days. Yeah, you are expected to come. And when you are part of it, we issue a certificate at the end. Yeah. But more than certificate, what it means is what skills and perspectives and the kind of understanding that you develop yourself and the wisdom that you draw from the Bible is what matters. Is that okay? And so, why we are doing this? Bible societies were well known, very well known. And people thought in many countries, Bible societies have what? How do you know Bible society? Come on. What do the people say about Bible society in your place? Go on, louder. Don't worry, he is not listening.
What's the perspective of people is about Bible societies that they produce Bible.
Bible, yeah, right. It produces Bible and sells it. So it's basically in many languages they have translated it. So they brought the Bible since the time of printing to the hands of the people. Yeah, to the hands of the people. But then afterwards, what they also did was they made people to learn to read, understand the Bible. So it's a literacy. So it was through the brain. Now, what we are trying to do is by making leaders and by making people to engage with the Bible, we are trying to bring the Bible to the heart. So, from the hands and to the head and to the heart. So, it's a kind of triangle that we are trying. That's why we are here as leaders. And international Bible advocacy promote the Bible in every sphere of life, particularly in public space, and to support and inspire others, particularly young professionals, to do the same. So you have known all these things. But you should know when you are a leader, when you are seeking wisdom from the Bible, you cannot hold it to yourself. I said Bible belongs to everyone, isn't that? So the joy comes in you when you draw the wisdom. When you go around and people in your office, they say, can you do this job a little bit more quickly, please? Can you transfer the file from your table to the next table a little bit quickly? And they put what inside the file? They put what? Come on, don't look at me very sympathetically. You know what they put in the file? What?
Right.
Right. Yeah. People sometimes do that. In many countries, they put some money inside so that it goes speed up. Yes? Yes. But my brother-in-law is known to be something. He does, of course, there are many people who take money in India. My brother-in-law attends every Sunday. So his name is called a smiling face. Because he cannot get angry with people when they give you money, and he cannot take the money either. So he can only put the smile. And so they are afraid of him. So they take the money and the file away. you know. And the others will come and say, why you are spoiling our business? So they do say that. But anyway, so when he is not taking the money, you disturb. Isn't that? You disturb others. You make your presence unique and distinct. And then people begin to ask you, why are you unique and distinct? Why you are not taking money? Why you are not telling lies? Why you are not, kind of following what is conformity of this place? That is where you become a disturbance. And that is where it becomes not only private space, Christianity, you bring it to the public space. And that's what the New Begin is trying to say here. The community that confesses Jesus is Lord has been from the beginning a movement launched into public life of mankind. And the Greco-Roman Empire always said, you keep it in your pride. Don't bring it here. Don't bring it here. Because the earliest words that were used, those who are steering up the community have come here. That's what the Acts of Apostles use here. What is that steering up? Because they were true to themselves. Because that brings joy. They draw the wisdom from the Bible that makes them life content, that makes their life joyful. So when you draw the wisdom, we are not saying to do something extraordinary, but to say to make your life flourishing, you need that joy that you draw from the Bible. That's what we are trying to say. When you draw it, you cannot keep the joy to yourself. it becomes infectious. It becomes your presence felt distinct. So that's what we are trying to say here. And so, I just don't want to make any more of this. But then, why we are focusing on leadership? There are crises here which we have identified. We say secular fragmentation. I should say just keep an eye on the clock. Somebody, um, there's a company. I think I shared with my colleagues yesterday. A company where suddenly the shares suddenly collapse. You have if you are putting your pension in the share markets, you would know how it feels like sometimes. Yeah, when your shares are put in company, you are like 1 million. Is it naira? Becomes half a million suddenly. How your face will go down. You will fast that day. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a fear, isn't it? That's what happened to one company. And suddenly, what happened? The company, all the shareholders call for immediate meeting, and the CEO is sitting there, with all that black suit, so the sadness of it. And they say, either we fire you or you fire all the folks, in the company. And there were 30,000 people working, and they decided 25% of the whole lot of workforce should go to make it up. That was a kind of suggestion. And then the CEO, being a Christian, he said, "Give me a week and I will come back with something. You want this money to be saved? We'll come back." And he goes to the workers, calls them, and talk to them. How can we make it up without having the 25% redundancy? And the people gave a lot of suggestions. Finally, they came up saying, "Let us have a month's salary, shared. Give up month's salary." Those who cannot give up the month's salary, other people will help. Yeah, and they did for 3 years for that. It's a hard thing. If you are when you are a monthly earning person, not like a farmer, you know, and if you are on 30th day, if your salary did not come on the bank account, you can still smile. Yes? No. No. All the automatic bills have to go. Monthly payments need to go. You know, so the bank will not be happy to have the red ones there, red number. You know, now the banks are already saying we have now 35% interest. Yeah, so you can sit on that carry. So this is what happened, and after 3 years, the shares went up, and they managed to give their life, and nobody was made redundant in that company. See the perspective you can do. If you are biblically perspective, you take every human life, every human being seriously. I'm not saying sometimes even the Bible societies are now announcing, in some Bible societies are forced to announce redundancy, sadly, because the Bibles are not selling in some context, but that's a different case. But I'm saying this is where how our perspectives can be influenced by the Bible. How that can bring you in your life a joyfulness. Yes? Any questions? Any questions? Do you see the crisis here? The crisis of secular. The secular people would say, don't come. That's a religious fundamentalism divides the kind of what you call the workplace. And denominational differences divides our workplaces. And there are social fragmentation mainly. There's a kind of particular topic that's going on. Survival of the fittest. You have to compete with each other, and the company pays the best performer, and they promote them. So you have to sometimes squeeze in and show off big things, or you have to pull somebody down so that you can move forward. I think that is the way some company operates. So in that context, how can I be a Christian? How can I be Christian? Am I supposed to lose all the time? Just do the way. That's a kind of question. It's not an easy question. I'm not going to say that's a straightforward answer to it. So through this program, we are going to engage it. very creatively, imaginatively, innovatively to find out how do we relate our profession and how still we can lead and make a difference. Is that okay? And that's all the crisis which you can look at it. So let's see. In Nigeria, I found some of these things very interesting. You can add. And the pastor has already highlighted the corruption as an issue. It is in India also we have. Even in UK we have. You know? And now they call them agencies. If you want to get done things, you can pay the agencies to get things done. Yeah. Okay. Distribution of wealth. You know, I noticed before I came, it was an accidental message in my Facebook. It was quite interesting message that was there. They listed all the richest pastors in the world. They put 9 pastors. The first 6 pastors have $100+ million dollars as their wealth, and the first 6 pastors belong to Nigeria. Nigeria. You know, that's it, that's it. And then they say underneath the note, underneath they say, there is an utter poverty in the streets of Lagos, one can see. The pastors are very rich. That's what they said. It was quite an accidental meaning. I didn't know that. But then tribalism, you know what it is. All that segregates. And these are the kind of challenges that we face. And of course, you know, in this training you can go through, I leave the PowerPoint with you. These are all already there. So you can look at those things. And I think we like to say this simple. We want you to increase the confidence in yourself. Confidence to draw wisdom from the Bible. How to draw the wisdom. It's not the literal reading of the Bible. You know, it is not the allegorical reading of the Bible. It is not simply take a verse here, take a verse there, and use it. No, it's a very you are. We think that you are intellectual enough. You are professionally intellectual. You know how to engage the Bible creatively. So you can draw, and we want to increase that confidence and make sure that you put it in your own life. Because it is, there are many preachers in my life I have seen, I have mentored many people and made them very great people. Even if you have come from the south, in Nigeria, there is an archbishop, and are you still in touch with me? Because Facebook makes it easy. His name is called Etime Kong, the Methodist archbishop. He was, how many years ago? 2008. He was a scholar with me in the Birmingham University. So I have journeyed with him through his MA program, and he's now the archbishop. So there are 7 bishops. The church leaders were all scholars previously from Nigeria, whom I trained long way. So it's kind of what I'm saying is confidence. We want you to develop that confidence in yourself, in understanding and relating to your own life. Because we don't preach well, if you don't practice it and try to put it to the extent. We are not creating a Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect. There is nobody there, Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect. You know, they all would try until the end of their lives. Is that okay? That's all we need to know. So that's a confidence. We also want to change the conversations in public space. Conversations that are the economy that is subduing, dehumanizing the human life. We want to challenge them. We want to engage with them. No, we don't have power. We don't have money, but we can, as a Christian, we can engage in the way we can. We are not saying you should lose your job by going to the placard in the street. No, that is not activism we are promoting. We have to prove that we engage. That's what Jesus said to his disciples. You know, be wise as. So we need to increase our confidence, try to change the conversation, develop our capacity through skills. And I think Bible relates to everyone every day, not only a Sunday book, to your profession every day. And Bible relates to every space, not only private space. So William Wilberforce in 1759, he was one of the founders of the British Foreign Bible Society. He actually stood up in the British Parliament and was the main person passing the abolition of slave trade in UK. And then he was the first one to establish animal welfare committee, first ever welfare society. So, I have a lot to say, but I think I will come to the question. I would like to give you, what is time now? Okay, 9, nearly 10. So what I like to see is how do we now get into small kind of conversation for 5 minutes. Maybe we may not have enough time to go through all these. Okay, here we are. Have you heard the word authentic? Have you heard? Yes? In my video? Yes. I would like you to turn among yourself in the same place and say the question is, what makes a leader an authentic leader? What is authentic? Do you know? Do you want me to explain it? No? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes? Yes? And how do you relate with others as distinct Christian in your workplace and influence them? You may not be able to answer all these questions. I like to only do this first question if you can. If you can turn to your table and say, what makes a leader an authentic leader? Can you turn? Yes? Can you do that? Yes? Sorry.
I think, in my view, what make a leader an authentic leader is if his public life, public confession is together with his internal or the part that people are not seeing. What I say in the public is the same with what I do where people do not see it. If it contradicts, I feel the person is not taking enough.
Right. Thank you. I think I am supposed to give you a bit more time. That's why I thought I will send you the videos beforehand. But unfortunately,
Now, what he's saying is,
yes.
on this your group, you will discuss what makes a leader authentic. In 5 minutes, then you will come back, and then we appoint somebody as the recorder who will now come and tell us what you have discussed about authentic leadership. Same there, just on your table. You're already in group. So 5 minutes, you discuss it, then you now appoint a spokesperson who will come and tell us that one. So your time starts now. By 10 o'clock, you should have given us an answer.
Please join the groups if you can. Yeah, sorry, I have to them a round of applause, please.
Hello.
Hi, good morning, everyone. All right, so a conclusion from our group is this. We're talking about an authentic leader. We're looking at somebody that is transparent, someone who is plain, someone who is original, meaning this is someone that the lifestyle, the words, the actions, it aligns with everything. Everything is always in alignment. Also, we're looking at someone who has integrity. Then, after answering the question, we moved on to say, how do we relate this to our modern society? When we're talking about an authentic leader, how do you become one? What are the challenges? So we said, in this modern setting, an authentic leader is someone who is not ready to compromise. You know, when we looked at the slides he presented earlier, we can see that one of the challenges we can look at is the issue of corruption. And the question came out that how well do we think we can move past corruption? How easy is it for us to just say, I'm not going to be a part of this? You know, mommy told us it gets to a point where it's a matter of if you can't beat them, you join them. So how well can we say, yes, I don't want to compromise? So what our conclusion is this. Being an authentic leader comes at a price. There is a price that will be paid. But in the long run, you will serve as a reference point to someone, and in turn, will become someone that serves as a positive impact to others. So it comes at a price, but in the long run, people will see the results, and they will know that, yes, this is someone that we can look up to. This is someone that can be used as a reference. Thank you.
Yes, that's all energy you have got. Yeah? Please give a good round of applause, please. And the next group, please. You can. Sam, you want to?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. All right, from our group, we spoke about authentic leader. And then one of the things we brought out was the fact that an authentic leader needs to be called. It has to be somebody that understands his or her identity, must understand what needs to be done. Because if he or she does not understand that certain thing is supposed to be done at a time, the focus will not be there. And then we brought out the example of Nehemiah. He understood that there was the need to build the wall of Jerusalem that has broken down. And then, of course, there were several things that happened or that stood as obstacles. He had to make sure that he went to the king. That was not an easy thing. But because he knew that this needed to be done, that was identifying the problem first. He understood that, of course, it must be done, and he understood the God he was serving. So he understood that, okay, they have broken down their walls, and the walls need to be fixed. So there was a focus. So an authentic leader must be somebody that has a focus, understand his identity, that I'm able to do this, and then must be ready to carry other people along, even at the face of obstacles and opposition. So Nehemiah was called. He also made sure that he had the feelings of others. He was an empathetic leader. He had empathy too. Because he did not just look at the riches and every other thing he was going to get, but he was just focused on what needed to be done. Okay, another thing we talked about was the fact that an authentic leader must be loyal. And then thank God that this group also mentioned the fact that they have to be transparent. He didn't just carry out the assignment or just sitting down and saying, okay, others go and do it. No, he was also involved in what needed to be done. The last part I'm going to be talking about is he made sure that he used his giftings too. He used his giftings alongside with others. He didn't allow obstacles to. Okay, it was also in the story of Nehemiah that we talked about Sanballat and Tobiah. So those people were kind of terrors to what they wanted to do, but because they were focused. So in summary, an authentic leader must be somebody who understand what needs to be done, must discover that, okay, there is a problem, and must be ready, must be focused, and must make sure that he's putting his or her heart to ensure that the assignment is fulfilled. Not sitting down and looking at others doing it, but doing it alongside, because that's what makes it authentic enough. You are carrying everybody along and you are empathetic enough to feel what they are also feeling. So that's our solution.
An authentic leader is one who put in practice what they preach. That's what the first group said. And then you say focus on what you are doing accomplish. And it all involves integrity, transparency, and also the commitment. There's also a consistency, in your behavior. And so there is a kind of character that you are building and the lifestyle that you are building into this. So these are all reflected within the biblical kind of stories and narratives that gives you the wisdom to develop you. Brilliant. And I think the groups are doing very well. And the other group, please, from behind. Yes, please come. And yeah, what we like to say, but you see, that's the wisdom.
Thanks. For our group, when we talk about an authentic leader, we start from being authentic. And when you say something is authentic, we are talking about something real or an original. And when something is original, that is something that does not skip process. It goes from point A to point B without jumping anything. And then we also see that to be a transparent leader, to be an authentic leader, the person has to be genuine, transparent, a person who has the ability to align goals and actions with words, principles, and values in the light of obtaining positive and negative feedback that is capable of moving whatever goals they are trying to achieve and moving it forward. And we also see that to be an authentic person, you have to be original, genuine, transparent. He also has to be open to constructive criticism. There is no movement in any team, organization without criticism. So it's now left for how the person handles that criticism. And we also see that an authentic leader is someone who has the ability to coach his team members or workers or people working around him. He's not just a local champion. In view, he's looking at making other people in his team also a local champion. And we also see that an authentic leader can also be vulnerable. That is the ability to speak to people's emotion. But he also has emotions. He has he has an emotional intelligence in him and is using that emotional intelligence to work along other people because humans are not machines. Machines are the only ones that are 100%. And the only time they will go forth is if diesel or something falters in it. But unlike humans can be vulnerable emotionally. Someone could die, something could happen that someone does not expect. So an authentic leader is expected to have that vulnerability, that allowance for vulnerability within him, so that he can see through what people is trying to lead are passing through beyond the results they are pursuing. And we also see that an authentic leader is someone who is disciplined and is also dedicated to a cause. Thank you.
That's good. I think if others, professors, mentors want to add, please add as well. Please don't keep silence if you feel to add. And I think that you said clearly, genuine and original. That is what God created in the original. Then women had fallen. That's the story we'll hear in the next. And also getting the feedback. We should not take it as a sometimes criticism. Every job as a professional development review, and sometimes it may be unfair criticism, but if there is really a constructive criticism to help you to go for a training and to take it further, we must always establish the relational factor, a transparent relational. Even if you are a manager, you should not be afraid to highlight those areas of weaknesses to your colleagues so that we are all deliver what you need to deliver. But that is where a care and love should be part of it rather than simply finding fault as the kind of thing. That's why the Bible gives you an additional strength to do that. Is there anybody else who want to add to this, Professor Madam?
Okay, no, I just want to agree with you. I always say that an authentic person or somebody who's trying to live his or her life Bible-centered has to be vulnerable. That's not the way I normally put it to my students over this. I said, learn to laugh at yourself. Say, learn to laugh at yourself. So don't think you are perfect or whatever, covering that thing you're covering. That is where I say the carpet gets too bumpy and you may stumble on it. But if you learn to become vulnerable, to laugh at yourself, it helps you to develop your character. Then when others are talking or whatever, it's not really going to affect you because you already have your point or reference point, our Lord Jesus Christ. What did they not say about him? What did they not do to him? But did he not do what he came to do? So long and short, I said, learn to laugh at yourself. Make a fool of yourself. I'm not afraid. I do that in front of the class, and when I do, sometimes I can come back and say, oh, I'm sorry. Or I say, did you know what I did yesterday? I was just doing it to test you, to know whether anybody noticed that something was off. So authentic leaders, I believe, must learn, as we've been said, they're not perfect. When people you are trying to mentor see you, will say, oh, he or she experienced or went through that and it's here. It's an encouragement. It's a real encouragement for whether the mentee or whoever it is you come across to see you as real, to see you as human. But for the grace of God, there go I, but for the grace of God. Always remember that.
From the professor. And please intervene anyone who would like to speak. Yes. Next group, please. It's good to have a shared learning. So, you know, what a wisdom coming.
Good morning, everyone. So, when we talk about being an authentic leader, we're talking about somebody, a leader, somebody who is a pace setter, who is who has integrity, and who is also an admirable person. This is somebody you see and you look up to. So, and how do you go about this? Before you can be an authentic leader, you have to seek, you have to learn continuously, because there are some things that you might think you know, which you actually don't know. So which means that continuously you have to develop yourself. And if you want to be being an authentic leader, you have to cultivate trust, because a lot of people look up to you, and if they can't trust you, I'm not sure you'll be able to lead well. There's definitely going to be issues in the team. So which means you have to be able to cultivate trust. You should be somebody who is trustworthy, that when people see you, is like, oh, do we trust this person, that this person can't do this? Then when we're talking about being an authentic leader, as somebody who actually, you should be humble, like irrespective of who you are. Our example, when we are talking in this context of Bible, Jesus Christ is a great example, that even the Bible says that even though he was like God, but he did not see himself above God, that he humbled himself and even became obedient unto death. So when you want to be a leader, you have to humble yourself. You have to seek professional advice. You have to even learn outside of your field, like, because you have to move around with people, not just say, okay, because I am a doctor, you want to remain in that field. What if there are other professions where people have more experiences than you? So if you want to be an authentic leader, you must have empathy. Like when people share their stories, you should be able to like show empathy and not just say, oh, it is that is your own cup of tea. No, a leader who wants to lead and lead well should be able to show empathy and lead with example. Thank you.
I think that was a last point, but it was a good point, that you need to be an exemplary leader, somebody who can be looked up to and follow, you know. and it's a hard thing sometimes to put in practice. And I go to gym very often, yeah, and then after a week I go to the mirror and see anything change. Nothing changed, yeah, and that does not mean the gym is not working, isn't it? So you have to put it in practice, some activities to become an exemplary leader, to develop yourself consistently, even though it may not have an immediate result in yourself, in others. So this is what it is sometimes. We have to consistently work on these things, that sometimes even negatively, because I was talking in Kenya, we have this year the third year of graduation in Kenya. I was talking in Kenya about this. Suddenly somebody said, I'm a lawyer. In my job, every day I have to interpret the Constitution in favor of my client. That is according to the Bible, not necessarily the truth. So if you are asking me to stop it, it's my job gone, huh? Or I may not get enough clients. But then we had a lot of discussion in the afternoon, and one of the potential member of the parliament, he was not a member of the parliament, he came, he was a lawyer, and we asked him the question, is that the right thing, did you do? He said, I stopped doing that, and in the beginning no client came actually. Not many came. Nobody came to me because they thought he's not going to win our case anyway. He will tell the truth to or he will find something that could be telling indirectly to the judge. But then what happened afterwards? People began to believe in him. The judge began to think, if this guy comes for a case, he is going to tell the truth. Yes, that's the way it turned out. And he became popular. And then he stood up for the election and nobody voted him because they said, you are not giving money. That guy is giving money. That guy is giving money to us. You are not giving any money. And he said, I'm not going to give. But then he began to turn the current slowly in his favor. He got 1/3 of the votes at the last election in a way that consistency is a hard thing to sell sometimes. Being authentic, being an exemplary leader, because it challenges our conformity to what it is already there. But brilliant thing. So, yes.
Thank you.
We'll go for coffee, remember that.
Yes. So I'll try to be as fast as possible. Morning, everybody. I want to say that saying or talking about an authentic leader takes my mind to a fake leader. So, because if you say something is authentic, it means that there could be a fake one. And for me, um, our example is Christ Himself. And like Dr. Joshua had pointed out, whether we like it or not, our civilization today derives largely from Christ and from Christianity. We may not acknowledge it, but if you take time to study the history of the world, you'll know that the modern civilization that we have today comes largely from the Christian ethos. If you take away Christianity, we will not have the world as we know it today. Take away Christianity. And it's because of the kind, and all of that came as a result of Christ's model of leadership. And so if you're talking about the authentic, we're talking about that which is modeled after that masterpiece, Christ. Any other thing is fake. And Christ Himself talked about the shepherd, talked about the good shepherd, and also talked about the fake one. You know what the fake one does? The fake one is there just to feed on the animals. But the true leader will give his own life for the sheep. And that is what authentic leadership is about. It is about selfless problem solving. So for me, if I want to replace leadership, of course, if you're moving and nobody is following you, then you're not leading. You're just, like they say, you're just doing what? You're just taking a walk. So you're not leading if nobody is following. And then if you are in leadership, quote unquote, and you are not solving problems, then you're just wasting your time. You are not leading anybody. Because leadership essentially is about solving problems and not personal problems. You're talking about common problems. problems that people on their own cannot solve. A leader is able to show the people how to navigate, how to solve that problem. And like we said earlier, in Nigeria, everybody is familiar with the concept of fake. Not so. It's, in fact, some of us would have bought fake things that looks almost exactly like the original. So we understand what fake is. We have so many people in positions of leadership who are fake because they are not there to offer selfless leadership. That is, they're there for themselves. So if it is authentic, it has to be selfless. If anybody is trying to lead because of self, that is, I'm doing it for myself, I want to make money. If that's why you are in leadership, then that's fake leadership. If you are there for the prestige, and we do that a lot, we like leadership because we want to be seen. We want the respect that comes with that office. But we are not ready to make the sacrifice. We are not ready to be truly selfless like Christ. Then we'll say that is fake leadership. You can imagine that even though Christ had led for several years, it was still difficult for them to identify him, to tell him apart from his disciples. That's the kind of leadership that we are talking about. The leadership that does not throw himself or herself forward for that prestige, for the honor. That's not authentic leadership. So authentic leadership will be that which is truly selfless and that which truly helps people to navigate, to solve problems. I'll stop here for now.
What's your name?
My name is Michael Konuji. I am a professor of sociology.
Brilliant. Thank you. So please, he will be around asking questions as well. Thank you. Thank you. And we go for. Yeah, I think there is an online group. They also would like to say.
Okay, so this is Alfred's contribution. He said an authentic leader is one who embodies one's leadership persuasions. The embodiment include integrity, honesty, transparency, self-discipline, strong moral code, self-discovery, and engagement with the people. Against this background, our society is beclouded with many leaders who bear honorable but are not His Excellency that lacks excellency. Thank you.
Sam, you want to say something? Okay. I think now we are. Yes, yes. Yeah, please come to the front. This is what you said in your thing also. Kenotic, emptying leadership. That's a Jesus. If you are imitating, is emptying oneself to the cross, to the death, and that is self-giving. That's what the professor said. That's brilliant, and I think.
Thank you very much. One thing that is very important that we must not miss out is the fact that we can talk about authentic leadership using the head, we can define it, we can analyze it, but it's a journey. So if we assess ourselves with those elements, integrity, empathy, and all that, sometimes you sit back and say, am I really empathetic? That is to say, you are reflecting and saying, look, there must be a change here. And that is where the transformation that we're talking about is coming from. Right with the Word of God, we study, we understand, but it must transform us so that we can assist to transform others. That's very critical. So while going through this program, let's put that at the back of our mind, that is our journey, that's our destination. Thank you.
Thank you. You didn't say your name.
My name is Olutunde Bolaji Adisa. I'm a chartered accountant and a business advisor, and the honorary treasurer of the Bible Society of Nigeria.
Brilliant, thank you. You know, you started engaging with the methodology. You know, when Jesus was actually journeying in Emmaus, he never said, I am here at the start. He just journeyed, isn't it? Why didn't he say it? In the beginning itself, he says, I'm Jesus. He didn't say it, isn't it? He was pointing to the Bible. So the methodology here is discovering together the Bible. You see? And so we are all learning together. I'm here as a learner as well. So please be confident in bringing out how you relate and how do you challenge some of the assumptions that we are also making. Yeah? That's very important. And I hope you enjoyed the morning. So have a coffee, and I think we'll give you 15 minutes from now. And it's 10:30. It's nearly 2 minutes. So 10:45, we'll be back. Yeah? Still smile, please. Cheers.